with, as I said, a record number of fatalities. First, though, I want to bring in our political editor, Andrew Clennell, because what we're seeing today is basically conflict, or at the very least tension, happening all over the place when it comes to the COVID response.
Absolutely, Kieran. So what we've got here, we've got the Secretary of the Department of Health, former Chief Medical Officer recently, Brendan Murphy, at the Aged Care Royal Commission, arguing from the government's standpoint with the Morrison government's own Aged Care Royal Commission and what they've had to say on the government's response in terms of aged care and coronavirus. We've got, and I'll get to this in a moment, the government and the opposition at war over how Parliament should proceed and whether MPs should be able to connect remotely. And Scott Morrison and Daniel Andrews in conflict over the handling of hotel quarantining and aged care. There is just conflict breaking out all over the place today in terms of COVID-19. So first of all, let's show you Brendan Murphy, him trying to give a statement at this Aged Care Royal Commission about an hour ago, essentially saying, you were wrong, Counsel assisting Peter Rozen, in saying 2 days ago that we didn't have a plan on aged care.
If it's possible that I could make a very, very brief opening statement to respond to some of the statements made by the Counsel assisting in his opening address on Monday, where it was alleged that the Australian government has not planned or prepared for the impact of COVID-19, and as a result we've had a high death rate. Neither of those statements is accurate.
Really, the focus of today is not in order for different positions to be put in response to what appears in the media, but rather for our inquiries to continue in the way they have. So I hope...
Commissioner, could I just say that it's not so much the media we were responding to, it was what we believe the inaccurate statements by the Senior Counsel assisting, which were reported in the media, but it was those statements by Senior Counsel or assisting that I wish to respond to, not what was reported in the media, but I accept your ruling.
Now, it's been reported this afternoon also Brendan Murphy was grilled on the fact that COVID guidelines changed in terms of a Commonwealth Government responsibility on aged care in about June or July. During this exchange, as I understand it, Brendan Murphy is seen whispering to his Deputy Secretary, or at least trying to help him with an answer, and that's questioned by the Commissioner. Let's have a look.
I'll ask you to accept from me there is no reference at all to the Australian Government's role in relation to aged care in either the first version of this document or the second. Does that surprise you?
Look, it's our document, Counsel. So it's an Australian government document that deals with aged care. So it's possible that the first version that was implicit, and then it's been made explicit in future versions.
Did Professor Murphy just whisper to you the answer that he was suggesting you give, Mr. Lyle?
No, I just said it was an Australian government document, which it is.
I think the document would have been checked, yes, and that the Commonwealth role would have been implicit in the document and probably needed to be made explicit.
And yet again, it did not contain a reference to the federal government's role. Once again, was the second version checked by your department before it went out?
Yes, it would have been, yes.
Yeah. And your explanation is that it was implicit because it was produced by the federal government.
That's right. And yeah.